This is about how keeping people's secrets got others killed. There's a lot of people before Natalie was killed that I went to for help, including Joanna Taylor Smith, including Brenda Dickinson, including Missy Bruce. I went to these people for help. Of course, like many others, their personal bullshit got in the way. It's obviously not my fault that Brenda Dickinson was on pain meds. I didn't choose that. Now, Brenda Dickinson and I have multiple mutual friends. Many of them are in my stories. We live in a pretty horrible world. Now, there's a lot of people that, prior to the situation with Natalie, they posted up a lot of stuff pretty publicly. And then after the situation with Natalie, they keep everything private. That's right, they don't want everybody to know their secrets. Brenda Dickinson didn't want the whole world to know that she was talking about her fecal matter whenever I went over there for help. Just like Brett Roloff didn't want people to know that while I was there for his help that he was digging through his own shit. I tried to keep their secrets and the reasons that things were not working out there. I tried my best to put a positive face on it and tried my best to believe that eventually they were going to keep their word. But they didn't. They didn't keep their word. They didn't come forward. They didn't go with me to court. They didn't go in with me to make a police report. I'm not keeping your fucking secrets. If you're going to be screaming all the goddamn time because you're an alcoholic, when I'm in a subservient position, well, I'm in a subservient position. I have to just take it. I have to mind my P's and Q's. I have to follow the house rules, even if, like in the case of Shannon Alvarado, her house rules prevented me from doing the things I needed to get done because of her paranoia. Well, it's very simple to explain that her daughter is a nonverbal autistic woman. And, well, of course, Shannon Alvarado is taking care of her. Now, let's see here. Dan Faber and I, we don't have a lot of mutual friends. Matter of fact, we don't have any. No mutual friends at all. I mean, all of his friends says that he's a mutual friend. Playing the situation with Shannon Alvarado, that's not something that I just. She was drunk. She was screaming, and I was going out of my way not to record that stuff. By the time I got to Brett Roloff's, I was like, "Fuck it, record that stuff. I have to record it. I have to show the truth." Because my friends, or so-called friends, didn't want to come forward. They didn't want to be honest. They didn't want to tell the truth. Not to me, not to the police, not to anybody. And then they want to tell me about how they're good Christians. No, they're not. Good Christians don't watch this shit happen. That's not a Christian trait. Well, at least not according to what's in the Bible. But, of course, people pick and choose whatever they want out of there to fit their own bullshit. Missy Bruce, rather than admitting that I went to her for help and she was drunk, she wanted to be an asshole. And then she wanted to play victim and go, oh, I might lose my job over this. Well, is it really that difficult to tell the truth? If you lose your job over it, it's because you didn't tell the truth. You didn't come forward. I shouldn't have had to come forward for you. I shouldn't have had to collect screenshots between us and post them up on the fucking internet. That shouldn't have been necessary. Is it really that difficult to tell the truth? And then you want to tell me about your Jesus? People love doing that. You got to give it to God. You got to give it to God. They get a tiny taste of what I go through, and they fucking flip their shit. Cutie patooties. Wow. Funny thing, Dan Faber is friends with Aaron Cockerham, so let's take us a picture of this. It says add friend. Well, I'm not going to add her as a friend after her pulling the bullshit that she did and then getting angry when I showed the truth. I don't want to be friends with somebody like that. But I am going to take a picture, and I'm also going to send Dan Faber the video through his email thing here so that he can listen for himself, so that he knows, so that he's aware that I'm not bullshitting him, so that he's aware that the stories that I tell are true, and that is important. That's the reason for recording these people who promised that they were going to help, said they wanted to help, said that they cared, but never spoke out. This is not what people need to go through. When somebody needs help, Aaron Cockerham and her bullshit, and Carl Rogers and her bullshit, I shouldn't have had to go to those people for help. But who do you go to? And people say, oh, you got to take care of it yourself. You got to take care of it yourself. Well, in situations like this, you don't get to take care of it yourself. You just don't. When you have people gang stalking you, that's you against a lot of other people. And that's not a paranoid schizophrenic thing. That's a, hey, it was all over the goddamn news and people keep making these nut sites. I didn't make these nut job sites. I didn't make any of them. But it is important, in my personal opinion, to show the truth even if it's dirty, even if it's nasty, even if it's not what you want to hear. That doesn't make it not the truth. Now, with me being denied my rights as a human being and these asshats pretending that I am schizophrenic as an excuse to ignore the crimes against me, well, that's pretty screwed up. Now, people like Aaron Cockerham and people like Carl Rogers, they're fucking obsessive wingnut nut jobs. What do they do with their time? They interfere with the lives of others. And of course, this woman even looks like a psycho. How do you like that? So what are we doing? We're making sure that we have photographic evidence of these people so that they can be identified. Obviously, I don't want anything to do with Aaron Cockerham. And obviously, I do feel that it is important to show in favor of the situation with these people. And so we're going to send him a copy of this. Keeping Shannon Alvarado's word because I was hoping, or keeping her secret because I was hoping that she was going to keep her word. Well, she didn't. She didn't keep her word because of those secrets. And what secrets are those in specific? Those secrets would be the fact that I wasn't able to do those things because of her alcoholism and how she acted because she was on alcohol. It wasn't my fault or my choice or my decision for her to act that way. I'm not going to blame myself for her acting that way. We'll post this up for Dan Faber to see. Dan Faber was going to talk to me last night, but his girlfriend was over. Not my choice, not my fault, not my decision. It's just the truth. It doesn't make him a good person. It doesn't make him a bad person. It's just the facts. But people didn't want to look at the facts. Ooh, here's another video. Is this about me talking about her, or is this a call with her? We'll find out.
So the problem here, when you've already gone to the police and at the hands of people who are harming me over things I never did.
Well, looks like that's just me talking about the situation. Now there's also conversations with Christy Mney, M-N-E-Y. We'll post both of these up for Dan. We'll give him a slight explanation. One with Aaron, one with Cara Rogers. They both talk about each other. They were actually threatening each other, had their own little private war going on. See, that's the problem with getting effective help. These people didn't want their secrets out there. They didn't fucked up head games that they were playing out there. They sure as hell didn't want people to know that they were doing that shit to me, but the fact is they did do it to me. These people are not innocent bystanders. They're not people who I threw under the bus. These are not people who had nothing to do with the situation. These are people who promised to help and then ended up being fucking wingnuts. Meanwhile, if my friends or the police or Natalie and Alicia and Maddie, that's the people that you're taught when you're being bullied. This is who you're supposed to go to. You're supposed to ask your bullies to stop. Tell them how it makes you feel. Well, when it's a rumor that is the source of the bullying, you go to the source of the rumors. That'd be Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie. Now that's the first thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that before you go to your friends and believe the cops. The second thing you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to your friends. Get your friends to help you. If that doesn't work, obviously safety in numbers, that's the reason for having friends. That's the reason that people did so much to separate me from those who would help me. And then those who would help me ended up with their own assumptions and conclusions based on not knowing what the fuck is going on. Only my predators get to speak. Only my predators get to speak in court. Only my predators get to show evidence. Fuck this goddamn country, seriously. While these people are getting on and trying to destroy evidence, trying to put me on constant Facebook bans so I can't speak out, and then, yes, I get angry because I am being cut off from my support network. For 5 years, I've been cut off from what was my support network, the people who did keep me safe. 6 years, sorry. Missy doesn't want the whole world to know that the reason that I didn't get any help from her is because she was drinking and wanted to be an asshole about her drinking. Big whoop. Lots of people drink. Lots of people drink. Now we got this Christian feller across the hall, and you get to hear all of his Christian rhetoric and Christian BS, and really that's all it is. He wants to talk about his God, and he wanted to give me a whole preaching to right here in my room for yesterday about how he can't help me because I'm not a Christian like him. I'm like, you know what? You were explaining that just the other day about how them Christian churches won't help you unless you're a part of their congregation. You know what? Show me your Jesus. I don't mean physically bring him to life in front of me. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen. But if you really believe in the Jesus, show me the Jesus. Show me through your actions. Show me by telling me the truth. What, you're going to deny a Muslim who's a victim help because they're a Muslim? You're going to deny an atheist who needs help that help because they're not Christian? Well, that's not okay. Jesus didn't do anything for Christians in his lifetime because there was no such thing. It was Jews and Gentiles in Jesus' day. And Jesus served both. I've read your Bible. I've read it a lot. Christians are about the most foul creatures I can think of on the planet. Christians are responsible for more Christian deaths than any other religion. More Christian deaths than all other religions combined. Christians have killed more Christians than Muslims have, by a lot. We've got Christians killing each other in the United States over which Jesus is the real Jesus. Well, obviously, they're all believing in the Rambo Jesus if they're killing each other over it, and that's not what Jesus taught. So that guy across the hall, I gotta forgive him, for he knows not what he does. His bias is a Christian based bias. Not my choice, not my fault. It is the reality of the situation. Now, his first name is Jason, and I did take a picture of his license plate number in case there are any further issues. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with Brenda Dickinson. I don't want to deal with Missy Bruce. If they need my help, they know they can get a hold of me and they will probably get that help. But short of that, they're not going to lift a finger to help me. They're not even willing to tell the fucking truth, for Christ's sake. If you're not willing to tell the truth, you don't give a fuck about me. If you would rather see me dead than tell the truth, you don't give a fuck about me. That goes for Todd Ryan Case. That goes for Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo. That goes for Veronica Bruce. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or not, you're still a part of this list. Brett Roloff doesn't want to acknowledge the situation there in Virginia. He doesn't want to acknowledge how scary a situation that is for somebody who needs help, and you're not going to be able to get the help because they're busy screaming at each other. I believe in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. If Jesus was freezing to death, he'd get a blanket. If Satan was freezing to death, he'd get a blanket.